We all think we know the hero's journey, right? There's a selfless call to adventure, a wise old mentor, a big, triumphant return. But what happens when you take that entire structure and flip it on its head? Well, today, we're going to explore that dark reflection through the story of a man named Cillian, and his journey isn't about becoming a savior, it's about becoming a predator.
And you can see the contrast right away. A hero's journey is all about growth, about serving something bigger than yourself. But the anti-hero's monomyth, which is exactly what Cillian's story is, well, it's the complete opposite. It's a path that starts with pure selfishness, gets guided by corruption, and doesn't end with a party. It ends in this deep, haunted isolation.
So what's this journey really all about? Look, it's not some struggle to overcome your flaws. No, it's a conscious choice to lean into them, to actually weaponize them. It's a deliberate descent into corruption. And for Cillian, it all kicks off with a very, very different kind of call to action.
So let's start at the very beginning, in this place called the Hollow, which is basically a world defined by hunger. Cillian is just a landless peasant. And as the clouds of war start gathering, he doesn't see a threat to his people. Nope, he sees a golden opportunity, a chance to claw his way out of a life he sees as totally mediocre. This is his departure.
I love this phrase here, honest greed. Cillian isn't pretending to be some noble hero who's secretly flawed. He is transparently, almost refreshingly, selfish from the jump. The source material actually calls this the refusal of the mediocre. He'd much rather be a monster with power than a good man with absolutely nothing.
Right, and you know how a hero finds a wise moral guide like a Gandalf or a Dumbledore? Well, Cillian seeks out the exact opposite. He looks for a teacher who can show him the dirty tricks, the back doors, the questionable means. He doesn't want to learn how to serve the world. He wants to learn how to hack it for his own personal gain. He's looking for a masterclass in manipulation.
This ambition, it all builds into his initiation. This is that part of the journey where his choices really lock him into his path, transforming him from just a guy with a goal into a true, bona fide predator.
You know, every journey has that crucible, that point of no return. For Cillian, it all goes down deep inside a cave where he stumbles upon this massive treasure. But of course, there's a catch. To keep it, he has to make this impossible choice, a decision that is going to define him for the rest of his life. His soul or his silver.
And he doesn't even hesitate. He chooses the silver. To protect his prize, he uses a group of innocent refugees as a literal human shield, sacrificing their lives so he can escape with the gold. This one act is what the source calls the harrowing of his soul. It's the exact moment he willingly snuffs out his own humanity for profit.
And that choice, it cements this brand new philosophy in his mind, noble power. It's this incredibly arrogant belief that he, and only he, knows how the world should be run. And because of that, any action, no matter how brutal, is justified if it gets him that control. It's this exact belief that leads him to assassinate his own teacher and other leaders to grab power for himself.
So, Cillian finally gets what he wants. He makes his way back home to the Hollow, his bags overflowing with the silver he bled for. But this is not the triumphant homecoming a hero gets. Oh no, it's something much, much colder.
He doesn't come back to cheers. He comes back to the icy stares of the dispossessed, the families of the people he betrayed. He's basically a ghost in his own homeland. The wealth he fought so hard for, it's a tainted elixir. Sure, it can buy him a fortress, but it can't buy him peace, or a single friend. He's become the master of two worlds, poverty and wealth, but he has a home in neither.
This quote just captures the whole thing perfectly. It's the perfect metaphor for his victory. He built this incredible fortress of wealth, but to protect it, he had to destroy every single path that connected him to other people. So he's not a king in a castle. He is a prisoner in a gilded cage that he built himself.
But just when you think the story is a pretty straightforward cautionary tale, it takes this absolutely wild turn. One day, a strange mist just rolls in and surrounds his tower, and Cillian is literally snatched from his world, forcing his predatory nature to be tested in a completely new arena.
This mist is called the Temporal Abyss, and it's not some enemy he can fight or manipulate. It's a force of nature. It just plucks him right out of his time and unceremoniously drops him somewhere else, stripping him of all his power and everything he knows.
So where does he land? Not just in a new place, but in a whole new time. He's yanked from the world of 12th century swords and feudalism and dropped right into the concrete jungle of 1970s America. This insane jump forces him into what the source calls a second initiation.
Now, in this new world, his medieval gold and his fancy titles are completely worthless. So what does a predator do when his environment changes? He adapts. He trades in his old tools, his sword and his title, for the modern weapons of the corporate world, the briefcase and blackmail. And the one thing that translates perfectly, you guessed it, his honest greed.
So, after this unbelievable journey through time, after he's adapted his killer instincts to a new century, what does he actually become? What is his final form?
He becomes a living jack-o'-lantern. And this goes back to the old Irish folktale of Stingy Jack, a guy who tricked the devil and was then barred from both heaven and hell, forced to just wander the earth forever. Killian is now that spirit, a man unstuck in time, living in a darkness he created all by himself. This really just defines his ultimate fate, doesn't it? He's a creature of two different eras, but a citizen of none. The wealth he keeps piling up is just another tainted elixir. He is perfectly equipped to thrive in any corrupt system you throw him into, but he's cursed to never, ever find a place where he truly belongs.
So in the end, the outcome of his entire journey is a classic Pyrrhic victory. He succeeded. By his own ruthless rules, he absolutely won. He became the ultimate predator. But in doing so, he condemned himself to be a ghost, just wandering through time, forever an outsider.
Which leaves us with this final, chilling thought. Cillian's story shows us a man who wins every single battle, but completely loses the war for his own soul. It really makes you wonder, if you become perfectly adapted to a world that's built on chaos and greed, what part of yourself do you have to leave behind in the dark?